Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is John, and welcome to Toe the Line. Today is Sunday, March the 2nd, and for all you Toe the Line lovers out there at the Jacksonville Police Department, you're getting your video. I know that you have been calling people and asking, where's the video? Where's John's video? Who's he going to put out there today? Don't worry, Captain Ryan Wright. Um, Here's your video. Um, you know, I don't really think you're going to be named in it other than that. But here we go. So let's get this started. So tonight's video is going to cover an incident involving one of the citizens here in Jacksonville, a friend of mine named Amanda Erickson. Amanda called the police a couple of weeks ago to the area of her residence in reference to some loud music. Now, mind you, the police department, 911 communications, they all know Mrs. Erickson, when she calls, okay? And it is safe to say that they probably slow roll the calls, even if they show up on the calls. Now, mind you, she called this in. This was late at night. This was probably in the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock time frame at night from talking to her. And she's the one that asked me to do the video off of some FOIs that she had received in reference to some phone conversations, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So I thought, okay. And she had called me and asked me, what my thoughts on this was, and from my experience at the police department. And I told her, chances are they might have pulled into the one side of the trailer park, sat for a few minutes, drove right back out the same entrance. If you didn't see them drive by your residence, or you didn't see them, putting their alley lights on or whatever, driving through your neighborhood, then chances are, because it was you, just like they do other citizens, where I know from past experience, hey, let's check the area real quick. Let's get in and out of here. It's so-and-so, and, we don't want to deal with them. So, she hadn't seen anything. She hadn't seen any officers come through. Of course, the loud music was still continuing. And she had called communications a couple of times asking for a supervisor to respond. The supervisor was Lieutenant Mike K-Rig. Now, it took roughly probably an hour and a half, maybe a little longer, for her to get Lieutenant K-Rig on the phone, and it just so happened that I was on the phone with her probably around 12:30, 12:45 in the morning when, at night, not daytime hours, but nighttime hours, that he called, and he said he was extremely busy, sorry that he couldn't get back. After, I think, 3 phone calls finally to dispatch, he decided to go ahead and make the call. He explained that he was busy most of the night doing administrative duties, which a lieutenant, that would be checking reports, possibly burning videos for evidence off of, their P drive up there off the, for the body cameras, because the supervisors are the ones that have to burn the discs so that the officers can put it into evidence. But he said that there was two officers that came out there to that area that night, and checked the area. All right, now let's fast forward to where Miss Erickson gets the information, and she proceeds to look at it, and well, lo and behold, K-Rig checked out there. Now, as a supervisor dealing with a complaint from a citizen in reference to no cop response or no police response to their their call or allegedly no police response. And you know that this person is very vocal in the community to say that, she's will call the mayor, or she will call the chief, or she will call whoever if she feels that she's not being, talked to or, done right as a tax-paying citizen in Jacksonville. He evidently went out there and he checked the area, but he neglected to tell her that. So my opinion on that, and I told her my opinion on that is that there are times, I know for a fact, that officers will call down to dispatch and say, hey, go ahead and put me in for an extra patrol over here. They'll check out on the radio and be a block away from somewhere. Or they'll be at the back of the police department and check extra patrol, or they'll be somewhere else and check an extra patrol when they're not even in the area, because they have to log these things. They have to log so many extra patrols a night. And especially if a call's coming in and they want extra patrol and they want patrol in the area. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case here, okay? So I'm not accusing anybody. I'm not saying that the officers didn't show up. What I'm getting at on all this is that, she called up the next day during business hours. She wanted to talk to Captain Richard Betterton, okay? This is who this is all about, is Captain Richard Betterton. And the fact is that, of course, she called up to the front office. Michelle Tater answered the phone. He was back there in his office, said transfer the phone call. He sent her to voicemail. This went on for a couple of days, mind you, where he refused to call her back. He refused, even after she left voicemail, for him to call her in reference to some discrepancies in the call logs versus what Lieutenant Mike K-Rig had said. Now, what I'm going to play here is the phone recording between Captain Betterton and Amanda Erickson. This is Amanda finally getting a hold of Captain Betterton at the police department. Now, mind you, she was pumping gas one day, a day or a day and a half or 2 days later, when her phone rang a couple of times. She got back in the car. She noticed it was the Jacksonville Police Department. She thought that was Captain Betterton calling her back finally in reference to this matter that she wanted to talk to him about one of his supervisors. That wasn't the case. What you're going to hear is just straight out unprofessionalism of the way a police department, a police captain, can talk to citizens in this city of Jacksonville. And if you watch this, if you're a citizen of Jacksonville or if you're an officer of Jacksonville, don't talk to citizens like this. If you're a supervisor up there, don't talk to citizens like this. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if it's Amanda Erickson. I don't care if it's anybody else, because I guarantee, Captain Betterton, you wouldn't talk to Mary Twitty this way. You wouldn't talk to Mayor Jeff Elmore this way. You wouldn't talk to, Alderman Tanner Rupel or any of the city council members out there. If they called in a complaint on one of your officers, one of your supervisors, you would always be like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, I will look into it. Most definitely. But because it's Amanda Erickson, you feel that you can be rude and talk trash and be disrespectful. Why? In my opinion, it's because you work for a chief who does the same things to citizens that he don't like. And it's his way or the highway. So if the chief gets away with it, then why wouldn't his captains get away with it? Why wouldn't his lieutenants get away with it? Why wouldn't his sergeants or his officers get away with it? There's a problem here. There's a problem in this police department. I don't care what you say. There is a problem, a leadership problem in this police department. And Mayor, you need to do something about it. You need to grow a backbone and you need to do something about it. And we'll get into that after we hear the phone conversation between again, Amanda Erickson and Captain Betterton. Now, mind you, this is about a 7-minute phone conversation, and I want you to listen to the whole thing because Amanda brings up my name. Betterton don't care. And you know what, Captain Betterton? It doesn't bother me that you don't care what I say. It doesn't matter to me that you don't care about these videos because there's officers in your department that care about them. There's officers in your department that like them and that are grateful for what I'm doing because they're too scared to do it, or they're afraid of getting fired, or they're afraid of being bullied by you and the rest of the brute squad, Chief Hibbs, Lieutenant Burrow, Captain Kimlet, okay? And whatever other lieutenants up there that you have recruited into your brute squad, okay? So you keep giving me this information, you keep giving me the subject matter for videos to make you look like idiots. Whether this reaches out to one person, whether this reaches out to 50 people or 500 people, you still look like an unprofessional captain at the Jacksonville Police Department. And it's no wonder why your officers are disrespectful or your lieutenants or your sergeants are disrespectful. It's because you're disrespectful. Okay? We already know you don't want to go out on patrol and help your people out there because, you'd retire if you had to do that. You're too good for that. You've worked way too hard, right, in your career through school resource and through CID, sitting back there as a patrol lieutenant, making sure that your sergeant did everything instead of you doing stuff, having your parties and all that. We know that you've hobnobbed and done everything that you needed to do to make the rank that you're at. And now you're just going to sit back there in the patrol captain's office and if the patrol division burns or if the patrol division goes downhill or you lose officers and you lose supervisors, it's not your problem. You don't care. You don't care about the citizens. You don't care about anything but yourself. And that shows in this phone call. All right, so I'm going to hit play and when you're done watching the video, I want your comments in the comment section, and make sure you hit like and share this video. Share it to your friends, share it to the Jacksonville pages out there on Facebook. Send it to somebody, okay? Call the police department. Go on their Facebook page. Tell them how unhappy you are, okay? Social media is a great thing, and you can, voice your complaints. Citizens, voice your complaints with the police department, with the way you're talked to. I beg you. So let's go ahead and listen to this.
Records. Hey, it's Amanda Erickson. I just had a missed call from somebody at the police department when I was pumping gas. I heard it's Betterton.
Okay, one moment. Let me find out.
All right. Gosh, traffic is horrible. Gosh, you should have got your roses yesterday.
That's Captain Betterton.
Betterton, Amanda Erickson.
Hello?
Hi, did you just call my phone?
No, I did not.
Somebody did. Well, I was pumping gas at Kroger, so my assumption was it was you.
No, it wasn't me.
Well, I need to talk to you anyway, so that's why I called back, assuming it was you.
Okay.
So, Mayor Elmore called you yesterday and got the numbers for Friday night.
Okay.
With a noise issue on Pine Drive.
Yeah.
This is what I find very interesting. There's a discrepancy in that log.
Okay.
When I talked to K-Rig at 12:45, it was me and John Alverson on the phone.
Lovely.
Yes. Fantastic.
Okay.
And
It's lovely. You're right, Captain. It is. It's lovely.
Yeah.
but he was extremely busy,
Okay.
and he pulled up the two calls.
Okay.
He said, was this call at this time? Was it another call at this time? And I said yes, because, obviously I have my phone records, and they're off by a minute or so.
Okay.
And Well, it's funny you say you've been so busy tonight. I've been listening to the scanner. You're not that busy. And then his response was, well, I have a lot of administrative duties, and you're not going to hear that on the scanner. Well, this is what's interesting. He checked out as being over on Pine Drive before he ever talked to me and John on the phone. But he didn't mention that to me on the phone.
Okay.
Now, if he had been there, like he claims he had, wouldn't he mention that?
You would think so.
I'm not a detective, but
They don't have many of
you need to
those.
pull up the call logs. If you had just been there, you would have already known about the calls.
Okay. Well, I can't speculate on what he was doing or what he would do.
And knowing what I know, it is possible that he called dispatch and said, hey, put me in being checked out as extra patrol over there. But I just don't understand why he wouldn't have said that. Why he would have told me he was busy doing administrative things if he'd come by for 15 minutes.
Okay.
You follow me? It doesn't make any sense.
Amanda, it ain't going to matter what anybody says to you.
That's
It's not going to
true.
matter. It is true. It's not going to matter what anybody says to you.
Disrespectful to me. That's what
I'm not being disrespectful. But it doesn't matter what anybody says. It's not gonna matter to you.
I'm asking for an explanation because
And I'm not giving you an explanation.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna go down this road.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. That is a captain talking to a citizen. I don't care if you like the person. I don't care if you respect the person. I don't care if you hate the person. I don't care whatever. The fact is that you're a patrol captain working for the city, serving the citizens of Jacksonville. There is policy at the Jacksonville Police Department that covers professionalism. And he is not being professional. You can hear the sarcasm in his voice. He doesn't care what she says. And it is frustrating. Citizens have a right to get upset. And we don't want to be talked disrespectful to. And I know Captain Betterton doesn't like the videos, and I know that Captain Lett don't like the videos, and I know that Captain Ryan Wright don't like the videos, and I know Chief Hibbs don't like the videos, okay? And I know that there's probably officers up there that don't like the video, especially if they're subject of the videos. But the problem is that we are putting information out there to the citizens of Jacksonville, to the state of Arkansas, and to whoever wants to watch this and try to understand or try to help somebody make this police department better, because it's not good right now. I don't care what anybody says up there. I've talked to citizens. I've seen too many posts on Facebook. It's horrible, and it's due to the leadership, and you wonder why it's horrible. All right, let's go ahead and finish playing this.
We can go down this road.
So I'm calling as a citizen.
And I'm telling you as a captain.
I'm telling you as a captain.
There is a discrepancy in the laws.
Okay. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion.
You're right.
Well, why don't you do this if you have some free time? Why don't you pull the phone conversation between myself and Kay Rigg and John Albertson?
I had no reason to pull that conversation.
Because I know what I was told, but I know that the log doesn't match.
Okay, that's your opinion.
It's not an opinion,
And
it's
you have
fact.
a right to your opinion.
You're right, I do.
Okay. Again, like I said, it's not going to matter what anybody says to you, Amanda. It's not going to matter.
You don't know that. You have no idea. The problem with you guys is you spend your day calling me a crazy bitch.
I'm not calling you anything.
I'm highly educated, and I find it insulting.
Again, you have your own opinion. Again, you have your own opinion, Amanda. You have your own opinion.
And I called to ask for clarification.
Right.
And there is a discrepancy.
Okay. That's your opinion.
So,
Again.
since you won't answer me or look into this matter, I will just simply put it in writing to the mayor and
Do
to you,
whatever you need to do, Amanda.
because I have asked you for clarification.
Okay. Again,
And as
do
a
whatever
citizen,
you need to do.
I'm entitled. And this is
That's
the other
understandable.
thing. This is the other thing. When I call and ask for service, I'm still a taxpayer in this city, just like everybody else is.
No one said you wasn't.
Except you, I think you live in Cabot. Which is fine. I love Cabot. But my expectation is that I still get service and not have officers say they checked out somewhere where they haven't been. Because you don't think that I don't have a camera watching?
Amanda, I don't care if you got a camera or you don't.
I didn't ask you if you cared.
Well, I'm giving you my opinion now.
This isn't the feelings police.
So, you're right. It's not.
Totally uncalled for.
So I don't understand why, as a citizen, I'm asking you as a patrol captain to look into a matter that there's something not right.
Amanda, it's not going to matter what anybody says.
Do I need to have
said that
John
for the
do?
third time. I don't care what you have John do.
I mean,
I can care less what you have John do.
well, that's pretty evident.
It is evident. And you can tell John I said that.
I don't think he'll care.
I don't care. Like, just the same way I feel. I don't care.
So you're refusing to take a complaint and listen to a law
Amanda,
from a citizen.
there is a complaint department, and you know how to use it.
Okay. Well, you can tell Burrow to expect that.
That's fine. I'll let him know.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Now, my opinion, and this is just my opinion, because like Captain Betterton said, you're right. We do have a right to our opinion. But that phone call, you're rude. You wouldn't want your lieutenants talking to somebody like that. It's a citizen. I don't care what you think about the person. That's pathetic. Not that you care. You don't care what I say. You made that perfectly evident. And I don't care really what you say, because that's the problem with the police department. You, the other supervisors, the chief, your bullies, the brute squad. I've heard you on videos. I've heard you cuss people out. I know how you work. I worked alongside of you. I watched you move up the ranks. And this is how you treat people. How hard would it have been to go, okay, Ms. Erickson, but we call people by first name. Captain Betterton, she told you she called you Captain Betterton. She was more professional, and you just call her Amanda. Because you think you're on a first name basis. That's disrespectful. That's unprofessional. But how hard would it have been to just say, yes, Miss Erickson, I will look into this, I will do it, and I will call you back. Look into it, see if there's a discrepancy, ask Lieutenant K-Rig why there was a discrepancy, if there was a discrepancy in there, or if you found one. Ask him why he didn't tell her this, and then just call her back with an explanation. Nip it in the bud. But no, you gotta peacock. You got to get that ego. You got to get that big boy ego. You got to get that little man syndrome out. You got to sit behind that desk in front of somebody else and talk smack to a citizen in a phone, but you're not going to do it in person. You won't talk to somebody like that in front of the mayor. You would talk to somebody like that in front of Chief Hibbs, though, because Chief Hibbs will let you talk to somebody like that, because we know you two are like this. You hang out together. You do things together. You're one of his boys. That's why he stuck you in patrol. Run that patrol division. Be a bully. Run people out of your department. If you don't like it, get rid of them. Well, I wish they'd get rid of you. Hell, I wish you'd retire. So after this conversation, okay, Now, that upset Amanda Erickson. And as a citizen, I agree. If I would have talked to somebody like that during my time and I would have gotten a complaint on, well, of course, I would have been found guilty of 25 policy violations, unlike anybody else up there at that police department these days. Hell, you got to damn near stab somebody up there to be found guilty of a policy violation, and that's probably just professionalism. I mean, you can stab your other employees in the back all day long, and you're not going to get a policy violation. You can threaten them. You can, do whatever, stick them in support services instead of dealing with the problem. Yeah, Coburn, that was directed at you. But, at the end of the day, you're just a bunch of bullies up there. You're bullying the patrolmen, you're bullying the sergeants, you're bullying the lieutenants. And you're pissed because you still don't know who's talking. You still don't know who's giving me information. But citizens are calling in, citizens are reaching out to me. And I'm just going to keep putting videos out there with their information. With the fact of it is that these are the things that they're complaining about. Now, Amanda went to the mayor. She called the mayor on this. Mind you, she was very upset. Now, the mayor, being professional and everything, he did say he was going to look into it. He did advise Amanda that he was going to pull the same stuff that she had FOIA'd through the city attorney's office, and he was going to look into it, and he was going to get back with her if there was any issues. And he did look into it. He did have just a little bit of a backbone, and he did look into it. But because of, FOIA violations and because of policies and state laws and everything, can't really say what happened. Maybe Captain Betterton got wrote up. Maybe he got chastised. Maybe he got spanked a little bit. I don't know. Maybe Chief Hibbs got spanked a little bit in the mayor's office. Who knows? But there was a meeting between Captain Betterton, Chief Hibbs, and Mayor Elmore. And the fact of it is that Mayor Elmore agrees that, yeah, even though he didn't yell at Ms. Erickson, there was a professionalism issue there. The mayor agreed with it. Probably got a smack on the hand. Good for you, Captain Betterton. You live to fight another day, and you live to trash talk another citizen. Because that's what you want to do. Because if you trash talk them, they'll stop calling in and complaining on your people. Maybe they need to start complaining on you. Maybe, whatever. But, Mayor, I'm going to speak to you for just a brief minute. You have a dysfunctional police department, and you know it. You know it deep down in that God-fearing heart of yours. You were an associate pastor, a chaplain up there at the police department for 11, 12 years, an auxiliary officer. You know how things were ran. You know all the ins and outs, and you know through watching videos of the Random Patriot, watching my videos and getting involved in this stuff, you know how dysfunctional that police department is, but you just don't have it in you to deal with the chief of police. You don't have it in you to sit there and say, hey, look, this isn't working out. You want him to do what he's doing. You let him lie to you in meetings and tell you everything's going good, but yet you're still having to clean up his mess. His captains are doing this. His captains are doing this, are talking to people rude. I'm sure his lieutenants are talking to people rude. I'm sure his officers are talking to people rude. Hell, they show up on calls and talk to people rude. I've gotten text messages and emails from people reaching out to me about, how officers show up on calls, don't want to do their damn job, and then turn around and get rude with citizens and say there's nothing we can do, move on about your business. Mayor, you're not you're not doing a good job. And you might want to step up and grow a little bit more of a backbone in this. You might want to read that Bible. You might want to do what is right for the citizens of Jacksonville, because that's who you work for. They elected you, and they can unelect you in a couple of years. And to be honest, I hope they do. I hope somebody else comes in here. And I hope it's somebody that has political experience. And I hope it's somebody that has a backbone that will shut down and run off the people out of the police department that need to be ran off. Now, That's my vent about Captain Betterton. That's my vent about Mayor Elmore. But now we're going to talk about another supervisor up there. Okay, we're going to talk about a situation that another unprofessional situation. It's a civil issue in sorts, but I still think that it's not good in any shape, form, or fashion. So y'all remember a couple of weeks ago, I went live and I was out riding around. I had a passenger with me and I was just cruising through some of the neighborhoods. Now, mind you, remember, I was there at that police department for 21 years, so I know which cars are unmarked and I know where police officers live and I know who drives what cop cars and I have FOI'd list and everything else. So I totally understand this. But it just so happens that I guess I struck a nerve with Sergeant Jeremiah Murphy when I drove by his residence and said his name because his patrol car's parked in the driveway. And he was having a get-together. But you know what? This is what I find funny, Sergeant Murphy. After I drove through your neighborhood, you called somebody who a couple of days later reached out to me and was pretty upset about the fact. Now, I appreciate you watching my videos during your son's birthday party. I'm glad that you had some type of entertainment that night. But if you don't think that I don't know who drives what vehicles and lives in what neighborhoods and you know, whether it be the chief, whether it be Captain Wright, whether it be, Betterton living in Cabot, whether it be anybody, anybody that lives here in Jacksonville, Officer Ortiz, I know where he lives. I know what car he drives. I know these things, and it's not a crime to know these things. If you don't want people to know where you live, don't park your unmarked cop car in the driveway. But I do find it quite funny, and again, I thank you for the views, and I thank you for watching my live that night. If you are so pissed off, why were you watching it? Unless maybe you weren't watching it. Maybe one of your boys up there at the police department sent you a text message and told you, hey, Alberson's out driving around your neighborhood. He just told everybody where you live. Well, park your cop car at the police department and drive your personal vehicle to and from work. And I wouldn't have known that's where you lived. But I do. That's all the information, that I put out there, and people follow people every day, officers home, and you leave every day, go drive the same way home every day, and I'm sure people know where you live. Your neighbors know where you live. Your neighbors know you're a cop. Bad people live in your neighborhood, I'm sure, and I'm sure they know that you're a cop and that where you live. So you can get over that, Sergeant Jeremiah Murphy. You can get over that. But anyway. So again, please comment on the video. Please like it. Please share it. It's not always going to be body cam footage. It's not always going to be going out live. It's going to be me discussing things like this. And it's funny because, and let me discuss one more thing before I go. I had the opportunity to find a publication here in Jacksonville, was tagged by it actually, and actually was able to get a copy of it, find an original copy of it, where there's a local individual that posted publications on me and the Random Patriot on the things that we're trying to do for this city and the stuff we expose. So I'm not the only one out there that's trying to get the corruption, the dirtiness, the laziness out of the police department. The citizens of Jacksonville deserve better. That's my rant for tonight. That's toe the line rant tonight. Captain Betterton, do better. Not that you care. I know you don't. Chief Hibbs, pull the reins back on your boy over there in Patrol Division. And, y'all keep digging. Y'all keep finding. Y'all keep asking around. Maybe you can find out who my informant is. informants, because I do have more than one, but, maybe you can find out who they are, and again, this is for all my lovers up there at the police department, all my supporters up there at the police department. You've been asking when the next video is going to come out. You've been waiting for it. Now you can get your popcorn and you can enjoy it. And you can watch it over and over and over and over again. You can show it around up at the police department. Show it to different people up there. Show it to the captains. Show it to the chief. I mean, look at what happened in North Little Rock. Go to the Random Patriots page and look what happened just the other day in North Little Rock. 4 days and an officer resigned because of one of the videos. Boy, it'd be nice if some of these people up there at that police department would resign. Chief Hibbs, Captain Betterton, Lieutenant Burrow, Captain Kimlet. Boy, it'd be nice if some of y'all would resign. Then that would bump up Captain Wright maybe right into the chief spot. Because again, like I said, there's rumor on the street that's what he's bidding for, but don't know. Maybe he doesn't want it anymore. Maybe he doesn't want to deal with me. I think he would do all right. I think it would be better than what y'all have up there right now. And there's a lot of y'all that believe that. I've heard. So guys, y'all have a great evening. You have a great week. All right. You stay safe. All the guys up there at the police department, make sure you stay safe. Make sure you watch your back out there on the streets. You know what? Watch your back up there at the police department too, because that's probably a more dangerous place than it is out there on the streets. And we'll see you next weekend. And guys, take care.